Hi everyone, I'm just doing some milling again today, and I've just stopped for a bit of a tea break, and I thought I'd share some thoughts, and maybe just talk a little bit about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've done a couple of videos now of me doing things, but I haven't really explained too much about why I'm actually doing it. So I thought I would quickly go over a few things. Try not to make it too long because, well, to be honest, I could talk for hours. But most of you that are watching this probably know who I am already, but there'll be a few people who don't. Hopefully some people from YouTube don't know who I am. I thought I'd just go through why I'm doing all of this. I pretty much started work when I left school, about 16, and I worked in a boatyard for a bit, which is a great job, and I really enjoyed it. They didn't pay very well, and I was always brought up to believe that you should earn lots of money and buy a house and be successful, you know, get a good job, all that kind of stuff. But in the last couple of years I sort of started realising that I really hated that job, and I did those things. I bought a house and it had a pretty good job and it was alright paid, but I started realising that I really hated the job. I hated it with a passion. I wasn't happy about doing it. In fact, when I had free time I would rather do things like this that I'm doing now. The dream that was sold to me when I was younger about how, you know, to be successful and be happy in life was just slowly panning out to not be very true. And during that time, my friend Ollie, he started introducing me to a lot of different videos from people talking about the economy, how money works, and I won't go too far into it now because it's a really complex situation, but it didn't take long into reading about it for me to realise that it's a broken system that's destined to fail. I mean, it's based on infinite growth, infinite space, and infinite population, and it's just a system which is designed to get the masses to pay for the few. And you can see that now. The divide in society is becoming so big that I mean, people can't even afford to buy their own place to live. For thousands and thousands of years, people's homes were self-built and they cost them nothing, and now people have to work for their entire life to pay off something. So really the reason I'm doing it is because I really want to be debt-free. That's the true reason I'm doing it. Doing good things for the planet and being part of nature is a massive benefit, and is another reason why I'm doing it. But one of the main reasons, the reason that got me on this path in the first place, to be truthful, was the survival aspect. I genuinely believe that there's going to be problems for the future generations with this money system, because it's based on infinite growth and debt, and it's a system which means that you can never really get out of debt. The average person in this country will really struggle to save £30,000 or so. It'd take them a long time to save that money, especially if they're renting somewhere else, and that would put down maybe 5% deposit on a place to live. For £30,000 you can buy an area of land, and for an additional, I don't know, £3,000 to £5,000 you could build your own house. It doesn't have to be a complicated structure. In fact, you can start something really simple, and then anything you add to it after that is just a benefit. Couple that with the fact that you can start to learn about things like permaculture and start to adapt a way of life while incorporating efficient design into your thinking and where you live, rather than go to work every day for 8-9 hours to pay for things that you need and pay the bank a large amount of interest. Why not do the things yourself? Earn the money to get yourself a bit of land. We won't go into land ownership because that's a whole other issue. It's just another form of theft and tax. But if you can get some money together, buy your own piece of land and do something like I'm planning on doing, a small area of land, and build a self-built property, and we can start getting back to nature. People have become so disconnected from nature that we have no problems with destroying it whatsoever. If you know that, well, if you're doing something and deep down inside you, you know that it's doing someone some harm somewhere in the world, you care about it for a split second, but you forget about it pretty quickly. If you were actually hurting someone and they were there in front of you and you're looking in the eye, you'd be less inclined to hurt that person. And it's the same with nature, because we're so distant from it, because we've separated ourselves from it in these large cities and just built ourselves around in concrete and decimated nature. We're so separated from it, we don't see ourselves as being a problem that's destroying it, and we don't have a problem with destroying it because we're not looking it straight in the face like you would if you were hurting a human being directly. So I think people need to get back into nature and take ownership for what they're doing, the way they're living. It's not right to live the way that we're doing. It's stupid and it's unnecessary. That's the most important thing for me, is that not only is it not a great way to live for our own selves, it doesn't do our souls any good, it doesn't do mental state any good. I mean, there's so much more mental illness now than there ever has been before. Depression. It not only does it not do us any good the way we're living, it's just not necessary. There's better ways of doing it. We can live as human beings in amongst nature, with nature, and still live in comfort. We can create symbiotic relationships using permaculture techniques, and it's not even complicated. A self-built home, I think most people with a basic set of tools could build their own home. I really do. It doesn't have to be complicated. We're told in school that things are so much more complicated than they are. They're really not. I mean, I'm doing something quite elaborate. I'm trying to be quite in depth, and I've got quite a large area of land, but I've got quite a lot of tools and quite a lot of experience of working with tools, so I can do that. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. It really can be pretty simple. I mean, you can build a structure out of pallets, for example. It sounds like living like a homeless person, but it really doesn't have to be. The amount of scraps that are available to people, you can build structures for almost nothing, and live amongst nature. Do a permaculture course, learn about permaculture, learn about how the money system works, and maybe ask yourself whether you want to work for the next 30 or 40 years to pay for a building that costs, I don't know, it would cost you probably £15,000–20,000 to build. You're going to have to pay £300,000 for it, plus all the interest on top of it. And in the process of it, you're going to destroy the environment around you. And if you've got kids, you're effectively ruining their future. Ask yourself if you want to do that. I don't. I want to live within nature. I want to be in control of my own, well, as much as I can be in control of my own life. I want to have the satisfaction of building my own home, care for it, and I don't want to have to be a slave to a system which is destined to fail. It's not a case of will it fail, it's a case of when will it fail, because it's a broken system. It cannot succeed. It's based on infinite growth, and we don't have an infinite planet. Some people will tell you that we'll find another planet, but that just makes us a virus, really. We just move and dominate every part of the world, or every part of the universe that we can, and then ruin that one and move on to the next one. That's just not right. With permaculture design and principles, we can live amongst nature. We can grow biomass and offset our carbon without a problem. We have this knowledge now, and these abilities and this intelligence that we've evolved to have to be able to do these things, and for us to not do them, I think it's really silly, because it's so good for our mental state, and it's so good for the planet. I can't really see a reason why not to. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me to go to school, learn this set program that you must learn, that doesn't really teach people on a personal level. It just teaches the masses. And then you come out of there and you go to university, and you come out of there and you get a job, and then you do that same single skill for the rest of your life, and then pay and work this massively inefficient system where you have to earn these funny credits that change in value all the time, and then you have to pay people to do things that you could do yourself if you had the time to do them. So that's really the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be part of nature. I want to buy this area. I bought this area of land. I want to make it better than it is now. It's 18.5 acres. It's overly grazed. The woodland's not particularly good. It's just not that great, and it's going to be my lifelong project to make it a haven for wildlife, insects, bees, and I want to bring the land back. It's been overly grazed, so there's just there's only about that much topsoil in the whole pasture. So the plan is to use permaculture principles, planting nitrogen fixing plants and a forest garden, and try and bring some life back into that piece of land. It's only a small area in relation to the planet, but it will be my little contribution. And on top of all that, I can do that whilst living a very happy life. I can make my own little sanctuary where I can create symbiotic human-animal relationships by incorporating design, by building with natural materials and living a quiet, peaceful life. And I advise anyone, really, I mean, I haven't done it yet, I'm going to give it my best go, but I'd advise anyone to start looking into how the money system works, start looking into what we're doing to the planet, and start looking into how easy it is to do the right way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's just a few thoughts, and just get on YouTube and just start watching some videos. Maybe watch some videos about oil, or how the economy works, the zeitgeist movement videos, they're good. Yeah, it's all good information, and it changed my outlook on the world, and it's made me do this, and I'm really happy I'm doing it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really difficult. It's going to be a challenge, a lot of hard work, but it's going to be a lot less hard work than working 8 hours a day at a job I hate, having to bow down to some idiot manager that I never got on with, and you know, it can be we can live in a way in which we choose as much as possible, rather than a way that's dictated to us by society. So go ahead and start reading, and all the best. See ya.